Now the chance to chase a dream. Now the chance to feel defeated and brought down. I dropped to my knees when hope ran out. Oh, the time has come to change my ways. On this day everything has come to life. A better place and a broken dream, and we leave it all behind. I'll never long for what might have been. Regret won't waste my life again. I won't look back, I'll fight to remain. On this day, I see clearly everything has come to life. A better place and a broken dream, and we leave it all behind. On this day, that's so real to me. Everything has come to life. Now the chance to chase a dream. Now the chance to feel
the looks that drives the girls wild. I've got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I make 'em make them shiver, their knees get weak. Whenever I'm around, they see me walk, they hear me talk. I make them feel like they're on cloud nine. I'm just a sexy boy. Oh, I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Ain't your heart out, girl? Hands off the merchandise. I'm just a sexy boy. Oh, I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Oh, not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. Oh, I'm not your boy. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take a stand, it don't hurt to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man, I can't let it slide. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. I feel strong about right and wrong, and I don't take trouble for very long. I'll get something deep inside of me. Courage is the thing that keeps us free. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what
We are live. Thanks for tuning in. It is Wednesday morning once again. Time for the Going Broadway podcast. Alex and Cole with you this morning. Cole, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the greatest wrestling podcast ever. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about today.
It's so weird how we go week to week to week, and it's like sometimes there are lots of things to talk about. Sometimes we're just like kind of struggling, scraping the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, with topics to talk about. This is going to be one of those mornings where we're not going to be able to get to everything. Not to mention the fact, we had our Ask Alex and Cole show last week, which thanks again to everybody that submitted questions either ahead of time or live. We plan to do those once a month. But before we jump in, as always, let's see who we got on here. Billy Ray Milburn, good morning. Jeremy, good morning. Mastacholi, good morning. David Tilley, good morning. Drew, Mark, Jamie, Stacy, David Burris, Michael, Jeffrey Capo, good morning, everybody. I think I covered everybody that's commented so far anyway. Let's jump right in. Gosh, what do we want to start off with? We can talk about the network Peacock stuff if you want.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
The WWE Network, as we know it, is no more.
It's gone.
And I'll be honest, I've not even tried to go to like WWE Network and see what happens. I'm just curious, so I'm going to do it now.
It's going to be a big picture of go to Peacock.
If I go to watch.wwe.com, it still works.
Oh.
Which is consistent with other things I've heard. So if you try to access it via the app, it doesn't work. But if you're on it like on a laptop or a desktop computer, at least as of earlier this week, it was working. It looks like it still does. But I would venture to guess that, I would think pretty soon that they're just going to do away with it. If they're moving everything over to Peacock, it's just, why have it? It's just, in my mind, it's just costing them more money to have it.
Right.
But I am disappointed with the fact that it's going to take a while for all of the content to be moved over to Peacock. And to me, it feels like this should have been more of a seamless transition. They should have just had a team ready to say, you guys will upload or move, or however they're doing it. You guys will take care of the current content. You guys will take, and I don't even know how they would divvy it up, but this team upload all the classic content from such and such years or whatever. To me, they should have really had it to be where we're not waiting until late summer to be able to access certain aspects of the network. Now, it begs the question for me. Right now, it's at, what's the price point now? $4.99, I think?
With ads, $9.99.
$9.99 ad free, okay. I wonder if they're going to raise the price as they start transitioning or moving or uploading, whatever the term is, more of the content to Peacock. Your thoughts?
See, I don't know, because it's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do at the same time. I have a lot of buddies who don't really watch the current product, but they like to still talk about guys that they grew up watching and all this stuff. And so, the Last Ride is on there. I got a lot of guys that didn't watch The Last Ride because they didn't have the WWE Network.
Right.
Now they're getting Peacock so they can watch The Last Ride, or they can watch the Stone Cold Steve Austin Broken Skull sessions, and there's all that stuff, all those different things. So I think it already is doing what they thought it would do, which is giving people who normally wouldn't watch the product a chance to watch some of their product, maybe get them reinterested in some things. So I think it's doing what they thought it would do. I know a lot of people that like to go and watch the older content and the reruns and different things like that. Like it is a bummer that it's taking longer, and it's weird that they took so long to announce the deal, and then they pushed it so far out for the deal to go into place, and then we like get to the point where here it is, and it's like we have like 10 things on there for you to watch, and it's like, whoa, like you guys took months to do this, like how come there's not more on there? How, where's all this other content that you guys have? So it's not really the WWE Network on there. It's more like, hey, Peacock does our pay-per-views and highlights our current shows right now that we have on the network. So I'm interested to see how much they actually put on there. Alex and I were talking about it before the show as well, because now they're censoring too a lot of the stuff that is being put on there. So if I'm WWE, do I want some of that older content that's going to be edited and censored and all those things on Peacock? I don't know. So I'm wondering if this is like testing the waters to see how much content we really want to put on Peacock and how much if it's going to be archived again and not used.
TBD, to be determined. Just 1 second, guys. As I've said before, I wear many hats around here, so I was just taking care of a quick thing. Okay. So, over or under, let's put the date at June 1st. Do you think we'll have everything that was on the network on Peacock by June 1st?
We won't. I would be shocked if we get everything that WWE Network had. Like, that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, everything, period.
I don't think we'll ever get what WWE Network had on it in full.
Interesting. I can see them not putting stuff on there like what was it? Like Southpaw Wrestling or whatever, like the parody whatever show. I never watched that, so I can't think of the name of it. But surely they'll put stuff up on there that was, WCW, Jim Crockett stuff. I mean, I don't know how they measure the metrics, but I would think a lot of the old WCW / Jim Crockett stuff would be pretty popular. ECW, surely they'd put that out there. I was not an ECW guy, but there are a lot of people out there that are. I don't know. And if they don't upload everything, it kind of makes me wonder what they wouldn't put out there. Like I know, like some of the watch-alongs, or not watch-alongs, the ride-alongs, I'm sorry. Some of those are pretty entertaining. I'd be curious if there's a way to research the metrics on over the last, X amount of months or year, or however long, whatever time period you want to put on it. What was popular, what wasn't, because if they don't upload everything, obviously they're going to base it off that. I just don't know if there's a way to Google network metrics or something like that. If somebody has done research themselves already, I mean, average Joes like you and I can't just pop open the Google machine and pull something up real quick. Someone's had to have done research on it and contacted WWE and asked, hey, what were your numbers like for the network for, from January to December of 2020, something like that.
Yeah, I just see the network on Peacock turning more into the podcast, kind of shows more than they are watching older content, because like I said, they got the Stone Cold Broken Skull sessions. They have the documentaries on there. I see them, they got the Bump and Talking Smack and Raw Talk and all those different like podcasts and talk shows and things like that. That seems to fit Peacock's like banner a lot more. I could see them bringing back like the Table for Three and the
Table for Three was good,
and the ride-alongs and stuff like that, where it's more interview, documentary, podcast style type stuff. I think that's going to be where they target, because again, what they're targeting with Peacock is to try to get a viewer that normally wouldn't watch. So the viewers right now don't obviously want to watch wrestling. They want to They want to know what's it all about, and that's how you find out is through documentaries and podcasts and things like that, trying to gauge their interest. So I just don't think we're going to get a whole lot of reruns and things of the past, historical type, archived things. I would be shocked if there's a lot of that on there. Again, with the censoring, I just like ECW is pretty much completely out if you go old school ECW.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, being on NBC though, I know we're gonna get the old Saturday Night's Main Event because that was on NBC. That was what preempted Saturday Night Live back in the day. So we'll be talking about that a lot more in the coming weeks and months for sure. Let's address the elephant in the room. The IWGP World Heavyweight title belt. Obviously, people have compared, well, not obviously, but people have compared it to Cody Rhodes' neck tattoo, the old Divas title belt. I saw one other comparison. I can't think of what it was.
did you say it was Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes' neck tattoo was one. The Divas belt was one. Oh, what was the third thing? I don't remember what it was. Here's my thoughts on it. And I agree with Steven. It could be worse. But it could be better. It could be a lot better. And this isn't meant to rip on, the guy that made the belt, Belts by Dan, or I'm not going to release his real name because, he doesn't have his real name out there on social media, so that's not my place to give his real name. But Belts by Dan was the maker of the belt, but he didn't design it. He only went by what New Japan said they wanted. And so you can't rip on him. Now, as far as the belt itself, the last IWGP, the version 4, what was the most recent, was one of the most beautiful modern belts that we've ever had. So it would be very hard to top that. But we're not asking to top it. We're just asking for it to not look like an upside down triangle. I don't know. It's just very underwhelming.
It's ugly. I'm sorry. It's I don't like it at all. I think it's an ugly belt. I think if they were smart, they would just trash it and bring up a new belt in a few months and say sorry about it. It's ugly.
Yeah.
It's an eyesore.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But again, a lot of people wanted to rip on the maker on social media. It's like, guys, he's not the one that designed it.
Right.
He might have designed it, but he was going off what New Japan said they wanted as far as the specs and appearance, shape. And obviously, whenever he designed it, he had to submit it for approval, and they gave him the go-ahead. So,
right.
But disappointing in the fact that not only it replaces the old version 4, it replaces the IWGP Intercontinental belt, which in itself was a nice looking belt. The white strap, and throughout the history of belts, rarely did you ever see something that was not rounded in some way, shape, or form. You had the old, for those of you old school fans out there, if you remember the old CWA belt, it was literally looked like a lunch tray. It was literally a box. Trying to think what else that's out there. Obviously the new WWE belts that are kind of like an upside down pentagon kind of shape. So, our buddy Austin on our chat thread said that he thinks maybe it's the new owner of New Japan trying to modernize it. And wouldn't shock me in the least, but it was just very underwhelming. And I don't know. We're just going to have to deal with it and put up with it for X amount of years. Now, I saw something on social media that said something like, hopefully they do an angle similar to what they did a few years ago where Tetsuya Naito destroyed the Intercontinental belt and do away with it if there's so much backlash on it. We'll see. I don't have anything else to say about it, but I had to address it.
TBD.
Yeah, everything is TBD today. As is the next topic. The Hurt Business is no more.
It's hurt.
It's hurt. Real quick, while I reply to something, your thoughts on that?
Oh man. So I actually, I didn't even get to watch Raw until last night. So I was watching. I was putting together my my WrestleMania card that we'll talk about later on, and was watching, and I was like, "What just happened?" Because of course they kick off the show with the Hurt Business out there. All of them, by the way, cutting terrible promos. Every single one of them stumbling over their words, don't really know where they're going. It was almost like 5 minutes before they went out to the ring, they were like, "Hey, by the way, you guys are breaking up. Sell it." And it was like, what just happened? And so like watching it, I was pretty frustrated because I felt like the way it was done was really bad. Like break them up, cool. Like if that's what you want to do, like cool, but like do it in an interesting way, because they've been interesting this entire time, and now you're like making it boring. And so I didn't really like how they did it by any means. But it does bring an interesting dynamic into the fold, because now Bobby Lashley's not only feuding with Drew going into Mania, but he's also feuding with Shelton and Cedric. And I thought the Shelton Benjamin Bobby Lashley match was actually kind of entertaining to watch. They kind of give Shelton a couple spots to show that he still has a little left in the tank. And I think we're going to get Cedric versus Bobby next week, and I'd be interested to see what that match looks like, and also how it goes, moving forward with Shelton and Cedric. Do they stay a team? Do they just get thrown back into catering now? Like, what happens from here? How can you build off that? But ultimately, I thought it was a bad decision. I think if anything, you should have kept them through Mania.
Yeah, I agree.
Together, and then if run the angle where if Lashley loses the belt, it's because of Hurt Business, and then run that angle. So there's feuds and stuff to build out of it. But right now, it just feels like it's a Raw feud that dies off, fizzles off right as Mania hits, and then it's no more.
Pun intended or no pun intended? You said Raw feud.
Well, yeah. Unintended.
Yeah. I agree with Michael. The Hurt Business exploding sucks. One of the best storylines on Raw. 100% agree. Jeremy says, on the opposite side, he says, thank God they are gone. Can we get Lashley gone too? Respectfully disagree. This is the best storyline, program, whatever word you want to use, that Lashley's had, I think, since being in the wrestling business, period.
Just keep him off the mic.
Yeah, I agree. That's why you've got MVP with him.
MVP should do all his. MVP is like a modern day Paul Heyman. Just let him talk. Big man, stay back. Don't say nothing. Just be a wrecking ball and let MVP do the talking, because his talking all night long on Raw was terrible.
And that's another thing we can bring up real quick. Samoa Joe was gone this past week.
Yeah.
Did they say, or has it come out since Raw where he was?
I haven't even seen.
Was it just a vacation?
Anybody talk about it? Like, it was almost so subtle.
Very under the rug.
That I haven't heard anybody say, hey, is he training? Is he, this, that? What's happening? So
we can only hope that he's training. I mean,
he would be a fresh thing on either show, whatever show he ended up on. It would definitely be something fresh to run with.
Something fresh. 100% agree. Let's talk about a wrestler of the week. Who do you got?
It was a little hard because
there wasn't anything to me anyway that was like a standout performance necessarily. I mean, there were some good matches, but
more or less because with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, everyone's building to the go-home show for Stand and Deliver and Mania.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of, take it, laid back. But then I felt AEW was a little underwhelming as well as far as card goes right now.
AEW's been underwhelming in my opinion for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
It's just, and I hate to admit that, but it just has.
I thought the John Silver Darby Allin match was decent.
Agreed.
But I ended up going with Karrion Kross. And the reason why is I thought he made Oni Lorcan look believable at some times, which was good because, the match seemed like it should have been a squash when I initially saw it. But I felt like the match built Karrion Kross very well for going into Stand and Deliver versus Finn, not to mention the promos that him and Scarlett have been cutting and the storyline itself. I think Karrion deserved my vote this week.
You and I had the same vote. I went with Karrion Kross as well. I actually thought about going Oni Lorcan, but it's kind of hard to go with the wrestler of the week that didn't win his match.
Right.
On the contrary, I thought about John Silver as well, but again, same thing. He didn't win his match. And side note, I'm over Darby as TNT champion.
Same.
I mean, they I don't want to say they necessarily should have given the TNT belt to John Silver. I think it would have been a cool little swerve, but because they don't have a pay-per-view coming up anytime soon, the timing of it just was kind of maybe not. Going back, I still think they should have put it on Scorpio Sky.
Agreed.
I think they should have pulled the trigger then. It was coming off the Revolution pay-per-view. Should have been the perfect time to put it on Scorpio Sky, given the fact that, here's the way I look at it. If you're going to do a TNT title change not on pay-per-view, have it the night after a pay-per-view, or the Wednesday after the pay-per-view, so you can have that TNT champion have that run on TNT television for weeks and weeks and weeks. And, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, be a true TNT champion, because that's why the belt is there, because the network is TNT. So feature him on TNT. So
it almost like they put the belts on him and then we're like, we really don't know what to do. And
yeah,
and
it feels awkward.
I agree with you. It should have been Scorpio because he won the stipulation to challenge for it too. So there was something to build off there.
Especially since it was, the Wednesday after the pay-per-view.
Right. It would have been the perfect timing. Now I'm struggling to think who would even be a guy that you could have Darby lose to. And I don't really have a name for that because they've already kind of buried some of the guys that I initially would have said.
I mean, if they're going to bring up this Pinnacle stable, Sean Spears.
I don't like it. If I'm the name that comes to my mind, if they really need to build and should build somebody, it should be Miro that beats him. But that's just me. I think Miro should get.
They need to get him off this stable get him out of the stable with Kip and Penelope, and it just, that's another thing. Get rid of this arcade and anarchy arcade or whatever, or arcade anarchy. There we go. What is that? I get that wrestling has always had stipulations, but excuse me, if I had to create a top 5 dumbest, senseless, whatever word you want to put with it, gimmick matches, this would make my top 5. Might even make my top 3. I mean, what is it? Like, what's going to happen? What are they going to do? Like, are they just going to have a match in an arcade? Like, are they going to set up these arcade style games in a ring? And if so, why?
Right. The whole storyline's trash. So it's just, let's move on. I hope this is it, and then they move on from it.
Michael Hunter says Chris Adonis, a.k.a. the Masterpiece Chris Masters, won the NWA National Championship. I did not know that. I'm going to look into that real quick. I'm not saying you're lying, because I'm sure you're not. I'm just...
That's an interesting thing to note, though.
Yeah, for sure.
With the talent sharing and things right now, that is a very interesting thing to note.
Yeah, won it last night. Interesting. Defeating Trevor Murdoch. How about that? Well, then.
Oh, the things you could do.
Let's see, where are we at? Our segment, Miscarriage of Justice. So this is the second time we've had this segment. Basically, what we do is we talk about maybe a storyline or a match or just some kind of an idea or concept that maybe we got that we didn't want, or vice versa, that we wanted but did not get. So we can kind of just spitfire these. So why don't you go first?
So all of mine are current things.
So are mine.
And the first one for me is adding Daniel Bryan to the triple threat match.
That was one of mine. I agree.
With Roman and Edge. I think the Roman Edge match, I don't care what, like I read all the rumors. One rumor was that they were concerned that Edge was looking too old and that his age was a concern, and having Daniel in the match would help with that. Also, if Edge is going to win, him pinning Roman could damage Roman, so might need to have whoever gets the pin, or if Roman wins, it damages Edge, so whoever wins needs to pin Daniel because it will help keep them both built up. And then I also just read that Vince McMahon just wanted to shake plans up. And no matter what the reason is, I think it's a terrible reason. Not that Daniel Bryan's bad. It's just we've done this storyline before with Daniel Bryan, of all people.
Triple threat match at WrestleMania.
And I just don't want to see it. I wanted to see whoever Edge picked. I was cool with seeing Edge versus Drew 1-on-1. I was cool with seeing Edge versus Roman 1-on-1. Whoever he picked, I was cool with it. I thought it would be a good one-on-one match. And I still believe that.
No, I agree.
But now I'm just like, I feel like this match is actually going to be less than because it's a triple threat match and we're not going to see what could have been.
I'm going to add a little bit to that as well. I didn't want to see Edge going into this as a heel.
Which it's hard to see. Like, he's almost like half and half. It's like Roman's playing the full heel and Daniel Bryan's playing the full face, and it's like Edge is like this heel face. Like, he's only heel because Daniel Bryan stuck his nose into his business, and like, I don't know. It's just a weird. I've always liked Edge as a heel. Like, he's always been better as a heel, obviously. So it doesn't shock me, but
being older, it feels maybe awkward's not the right word. It's like something feels out of place, or it's like you can't put your finger on what.
Oh, I can easily put my finger on it because you want to cheer him.
Well, it's not. No, for me, it's not even that. It's like because I don't want to. I'm okay with not cheering Edge. I'm okay with. I mean, not. Here's the thing. If you've got Roman Reigns against Edge, to me, it almost feels like at first I wasn't hot on the idea, kind of warmed up to it a little bit, not necessarily from a cheering Edge or booing Roman kind of thing, but just, I mean, the intrigue of the match, it's a world title match. Edge is getting a world title shot for the first time since,
9 years,
10 years ago. So to me, that was the intrigue because it was a one-on-one match. But now that you've added Daniel Bryan, it's like, are you trying to rekindle like the old Daniel Bryan movement or whatever? If so, doesn't work. If you want to put a Daniel Bryan-esque character in the match, you should have thrown Cesaro in here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone. I will still stay. I don't think anyone should have been added to the match.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying, if you really wanted to shake things up and have a triple threat, put Cesaro in there.
I also read this is possibly Daniel Bryan's last WrestleMania. So if this is like a honor, dude, thank you for all that you do. We want to put you in the main event. You're not going to win, but we want to put you in the main event. Give you one last, WrestleMania, esque main event. Like, here it is. But, for me, I just don't want to boo Edge because his comeback story is so great, and him being back is exciting for me, and I love that he's back. But it's like you make him heel, and it's like I don't want to boo him. I don't want to dislike him. It's kind of like when they tried to move Becky to heel. Everyone was like, "Well, we're just going to keep cheering her because we're happy that she got the title. She's getting a push." And they had to flip her on the dime because that's what happened. And I think they're trying to do that with Edge. Like, hey, you're a way better heel than you are a face.
But thinking he's still going to get cheered as a heel, kind of like a cool, edgy heel.
And people are going to.
I'm sorry, cool, edgy face kind of thing.
He's going to get cheered because people are happy that he's back. Not to mention, you had him you're having him do chair shots on Roman, which he's already a heel. So everyone's going to be fine with that. And then you haven't hit Daniel Bryan. And most people aren't like on the Daniel Bryan train right now.
No,
You
not
know,
at all.
Not like that used to be. Like if you would have done this 6-7 years ago, everyone would have been booing Edge.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because Daniel Bryan was hot, but he's not hot right now. And so like you're just having Edge hit him with chairs, and I just kind of like, okay, dope. Like I actually thought it was cool. I was like, good, Edge beat them both up because this is stupid that they're in the match.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of our, a lot of our rapid fire, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I'll just call it a lot of our miscarriages of justice topics, if you will. You could easily throw into the unpopular opinion segment that we do as well. So here's one that would fit that bill. I actually don't like the fact, and if you'd have told me a year ago I was going to say this, I'd say you're nuts. But I'm actually not okay with the fact that, at least as it stands right now, we're not getting Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. To me, I don't know necessarily where you would put him, but here's what I'm getting at. It's kind of twofold. A, he really carried WWE during some, I'll say, rough points creatively. If you go back in time, and really kind of boosted, network buys and things like that during what was creatively dead time, if you will. And not to mention the fact that, he goes out there and makes Drew McIntyre. Granted, start of the COVID era, there's no crowd at WrestleMania last year, but the fact that he was like, okay, yeah, let's have the match, let's do it. Because if you're backstage in WWE at that point, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, I would like to think that as WWE brass, management, what have you, they're probably going to some of their main card wrestlers and saying, do you think we should have WrestleMania this year? From what I've read, all accounts said that Brock Lesnar's like, yes, we need to, Drew deserves the belt, let's do it. And to his credit, it was short, but the match was effective in that it really put, Drew was already on the map, but really made him look like a force, if you will. So to me, and I don't know Brock Lesnar's schedules, like he might not want to do it, but to me, it's almost like having Brock Lesnar here, like having that music hit with a crowd, no matter who he's going against. To me, I feel like he really he deserves that. Now, let's talk about it from another standpoint. I'll backtrack a little bit. We almost should not be getting a triple threat match on the SmackDown side. I'd rather have it on the Raw side and have it be Lashley and McIntyre and throw Lesnar into the mix.
No.
And then you get your Lesnar Lashley
face
off encounter, if you will. I don't think a Lesnar Lashley match, a one-on-one match, would be, I don't think it'd be bad, but it wouldn't be great. I think if you have a triple threat match with McIntyre in there, it would kind of elevate the quality of the match. So I don't know. At this point, he's not on the Mania card. Stuff can change. Obviously, we've seen stuff can change on a dime. McMahon is changing his mind and changing his mind again. So who knows? But what are we? 2 weeks? Yeah. We're a week and a half from WrestleMania, so we're going to be giving our predictions next Wednesday. I don't know.
I would say this. What you said, I wasn't thinking it, but it makes sense what you're saying, and I would agree. And as I'm thinking about it now, I know exactly how I would place him into a storyline. And Bobby Lashley did this whole terrible promo, but it was a promo saying anybody who takes out Drew McIntyre, will get a title shot. Somebody step up. And what if Brock Lesnar's music hit last night, or this next Monday before WrestleMania, after Drew's just fought a match with somebody.
That'd be nuts.
F5, suplex, just literally injures Drew McIntyre a week before Mania. It's Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania.
Interesting.
And then Drew's off TV for a while. Give him a break. He literally has been carrying them for over a year.
But if you're Drew McIntyre, you're going to want to be on that WrestleMania card.
I get it, but it helps build WrestleMania, and it sets you up to come back maybe come SummerSlam. And whoever's the champion at that time, you come in. If it's Brock who's holding the belt, if it's Bobby that's still running this dominant run, you come in and then you end their run and jump back in. But I think that would be the best, perfect swerve to get Brock into the match, get the dream Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar match that we talk about that Bobby obviously wants.
So you set this up very well, and Jeremy actually beat me to it. So let's say he doesn't come back prior to Mania. You know, we've only got one more Raw until WrestleMania. He didn't come back this past Monday. Assuming he doesn't come back this upcoming Monday either, can you imagine people losing their minds if he comes back at Mania, unannounced, complete shock, complete surprise? I'm not saying it will happen. I'd actually venture to lean on the side that it won't. And I don't know where Raw is the night after Mania. I don't know what kind of crowd it's going to be. I wouldn't have him come back the next night after Mania because they've done that before. They did that with him and Cena a few years ago. If he's going to come back and make a splash and make it be big, because you're not going to have the crowd on Raw the next night. Like, we're still in the pandemic era. They're still in the Thunderdome. They're only having crowds for Mania. And going forward, I don't know if they're going to have crowds for future pay-per-views, but
right.
If you want the reaction and want to interject Lesnar back into the storylines, have him come back at Mania.
Now, I agree with what you're saying, but I really feel like the goal is to get Drew the crowd reaction that he didn't get last year. And
sure,
I
agree.
That. So I feel like Drew, not to spoil my prediction, I'm leaning Drew to win that match. And it wouldn't shock me if we don't see Brock until SummerSlam, where he makes his return and has a rematch with Drew then.
And that's what I've read as well.
But regardless, I just thought that was an interesting take with your miscarriage of justice. Like, yeah, that it is sad that he's not on it, along with a lot of guys that I think would have helped elevate the card some. But for sure, and I think it's interesting to see what they could do going forward.
Yeah. What else you got? We can bring up a few more. The rest of mine are pretty quick. I don't have to do a setup or backstory or anything.
A quick one for me. I'll give you this one, and I mentioned it before the show. The fact that AJ Styles hasn't been on Raw 2 weeks in a row now.
That's a good one.
And I'll take it a step further. Actually, the way that WrestleMania has been booked and the amount and the matches that have been announced have all felt very underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a miscarriage of justice on how we found out about a lot of these matches. Right now, it really feels like anybody that walks out to the ring just points at the sign and says, "Let's fight." Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Cesaro, AJ Styles with the New Day, with Omos, and even some of the title matches like Drew and Bobby. The way it was set up, not very good. Like Roman and Edge obviously was Royal Rumble set up. Bianca Belair, Sasha. Rhea Ripley just walks out and says, "Hey, it's my first night. Let's have a match, Asuka." We don't even have challengers for the women's tag titles. It looks like we're going to get Sheamus and Riddle at Mania for the U.S.
Sorry. I just thought about Riddle supposedly Riddle for getting his lines on Raw, but then it came out that was part of the anyway.
Right. And then, it looks like we're going to get Apollo and Big E again at Mania. So it's like, the more and more I look at it, it's like none of these storylines have really been built very well. They're all kind of just, the match will probably be good matches, but the storylines behind them are not strong.
The build is practically non-existent. And I agree. So we kind of mentioned this already. This is just going to be a one-liner. The current IWGP World Heavyweight Belt is a miscarriage of justice. That thing is awful. I had one other one. What was it? Oh, okay. I could have piggybacked off your AJ one. So I think it's a miscarriage of justice that Omos is AJ's partner for Mania. And it was even more solidified by the fact, I mentioned this before we went live, it was either yesterday or the day before, an article came out saying that Omos's in-ring training prior to Mania has not gone well. And I don't know what that means necessarily. If he's too awkward or cumbersome in the ring. I just feel like there's a lot of different other options they could have gone with. You know, if they wanted to put AJ in a tag title picture, I mean,
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first person that popped in my mind. But even if not Samoa Joe, I mean, there's plenty of other people that they could have just kind of interjected into the storyline, put with AJ.
Shinsuke Nakamura. Could have done a trade.
Yeah.
Moved him. Because they broke up him and Cesaro. So
or he could have just showed up because apparently Baron Corbin can just show up on Raw.
Right.
Well, I mean, anyway, whatever.
There's a ton, though. Like, literally,
Yeah.
I could go down the roster and probably name 10 dudes that would have been like, wow, that would be actually a really dope tag team that they could build off of, run with, whatever.
Yeah,
Ricochet would have been cool.
Oh, yeah. That would have been, well, no pun intended. That would have been phenomenal. I think I like that just as much as AJ and Samoa Joe. That'd be cool. And we get a heel Ricochet to boot. Good stuff. I need to put a sound bite of Gorilla Monsoon saying what a miscarriage of justice leading into this segment. I just literally thought of that as we were talking. So, but speaking,
Paid for by the following.
just to remind you guys, you can check out the Going Broadway podcast. We are live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, at 9 a.m. Central on the social media platforms that are scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. Facebook.com/Going Broadway podcast. Please like our Facebook page. Twitter.com/Going BRDWI pod. Instagram.com/Going BRDWI pod. Please follow us on Twitter and Instagram. YouTube.com/Going Broadway podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you get the alerts whenever we go live on Facebook and YouTube. I don't know if you can get notifications on Twitter whenever someone goes live. Maybe you can, but anyway. Facebook and YouTube, make sure you are hitting the little button or the little slider thing, depending on if you're using the app or a desktop computer or laptop. Make sure you're notified whenever we go live. We also are on Patreon, patreon.com/Going Broadway podcast. We do have 4 different tiers that you are able to choose from. If you'd like to become a monthly financial contributor to our podcast, we would sincerely appreciate it. Each of the tiers has their own perks and benefits, including but not limited to discounted merch purchases from the Going Broadway podcast, free merch as well, and additional giveaway entries into the 3 free belt giveaway that we will still be doing once we get to 5,000 Facebook likes. We did just hit 4,500 over the weekend, so we're less than 500 away, at least as of yesterday. So please share across your pages and tell people to like our Facebook page so we can do that giveaway. But speaking of our merch, I'm going to throw these up. These are our current Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, Parity GBP shirts. They do come in our green, gray, black, and white scheme, as well as the blue, yellow/gold, and white. They are $25 shipped plus applicable taxes for a t-shirt, $50 shipped plus applicable taxes for a hoodie. So contact us if you want any of those. Why isn't this working? There we go. And Cole is sporting one, as you can see today, in the blue and the gold. And it looks very nice with his little backdrop as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, where do topics go? There we go. It's time.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
Time for our fan mail segment. I got to pull up these questions that were submitted ahead of time. So, thanks to everybody that submits your questions ahead of time. I do try to remember to post ahead of time on our Facebook and Twitter pages. I do try to post a thread that you can get your questions in ahead of time. And people have been kind enough to submit some questions ahead of time, so we're going to tackle these first. If you have any questions, please ask them live while we're on here, and time permitting, we will try to get to them. So our first question comes from Ryan Johnson. I really like some of these questions that were submitted ahead of time, too. Ryan asks, if Undertaker had a match at Mania this year, someone he's never faced at Mania, who would you want to face him?
Now
This is assuming, this is assuming we could pick if it's in-ring or if it's cinematic. Because an Undertaker match at this point at his age might not be the best.
I would have to lean cinematic.
I got one right away. The Fiend.
He's already fought the Fiend.
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, you want to see him fight the Fiend?
Yeah.
A cinematic
match with
would
the Fiend.
Be insane for sure.
Okay, I'll that'll be my 1A because technically he's fought Bray Wyatt. So I'll think of another one.
That he's not fought.
That he's not fought at Mania.
At Mania or period?
This says that he's not fought at Mania.
Okay, so
I'll give you another one. Karrion Kross.
That was one that was sticking through my name or through my head. The name was in my head. I think for me it would either be Finn Balor.
That's a good one. Demon Finn Balor.
As the Demon. Or I think I'm going to say Aleister Black.
That's a good one, too.
I think I would like to see they both kind of play like the In the Darkness type character.
Mark says Damian Priest.
Oh, Damian Priest. Yeah, I like the Damian Priest.
We're in agreement that it's got to be somebody that's got like a darker character.
If you're going to do cinematic, I would want to see. That's why The Fiend would be a great cinematic match because he could do a lot of great cinematic type stuff, especially with the mind games and stuff like that. But it's got to be somebody who can act as well. Like,
for sure.
Actually, I'll take this one's going to be a swerve. The Miz. I think The Miz being the heel, Undertaker being the face in a cinematic match would be absolutely hilarious and yet good at the same time.
That would be something different, too. You'd get a comedic side of...
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'd have to say The Miz. I like that idea as well.
We kind of touched on this already. Brian asks, why break up the Hurt Business unless they're bringing in new members? I don't think they're bringing in new members. I think, like you said, McMahon's just trying to change stuff up. And in this scenario, it's not for the better. We've said it already. I thought it was the best storyline on Raw, and you just kind of threw it to the curb. And I don't think there's going to be new members. I think it was just, I don't know. I don't see Shelton or Cedric doing much else at this point.
So for me, I think long term the Hurt Business was going to fizzle out because if they don't carry the belts or have a 4 Horsemen or Evolution type-esque faction, there's not much for them to do. I think they missed their opportunity to do a lot with them without belts when they brought in Retribution, because when it first all went off and they were kind of protecting Raw and were getting, their payment for protecting Raw, I really thought they had something special there. And I really thought they could have done a lot with that, and even going into Survivor Series, being like Raw's team for Survivor Series, and you could have done a lot with them without them holding the belts. I thought they did a really good job with that with Undisputed Era before they ever really got a bunch of gold. So I thought they needed to do the same thing with the Hurt Business, and they didn't. And they elevated them to the titles really quickly, and then they already de-escalated them out of the tag title belts before Mania. I thought they should have carried them into Mania. And if you wanted New Day to win them or be on the card, you could have had them face Hurt Business to have them on the card. But I thought that was what they should have done. But ultimately, I don't think Bobby Lashley needs a faction as a champion. And I think that just him and MVP makes more sense. Which is why I kind of question if I'm gonna go Drew McIntyre not winning at Mania.
Yeah.
Because it really feels like they're setting up Bobby Lashley to hold this for a while by getting rid of the Hurt Business now instead of after he's lost the belt.
Yeah.
So I think it's a long-term booking decision that makes sense because Shelton's not good on the mic. Cedric's really not that good on the mic. Shelton's getting up there in age. I'm not saying he can't wrestle. I'm just saying he's not the same wrestler.
He's not the same wrestler, and you want to get out before you just can't walk anymore, basically.
So that's where I'm at there. I'm not mad that they broke it up. I'm just mad at how they did it. It wasn't very good. If they're going to break it up, do it better than what they did.
The execution was it was so awkward. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Let's go to the next question. This comes from David Tilley. If you had a time machine could go to any wrestling event, which would it be? I've got 4 that come to mind right away. WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 17, the first Starrcade, and Starrcade 85. If I had to pick one of those, I'd probably pick WrestleMania 3.
WrestleMania 3 is a good one because that was like the top attendance at one. Like, wasn't it like one of the most attended ones ever or something like that?
Yeah, I think now it's actually like the 3rd most attended. I mean, granted, these numbers are exaggerated, but I'm going to pull that up real quick because I'm just curious. That one would
be a good one.
It's actually WrestleMania 3 is still second on the list. WrestleMania 32 surpassed it at AT&T Stadium.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't John Cena face JBL in an I Quit match at one of the Manias?
I don't know if that was at a Mania or not. That was Judgment Day 2005.
But he fought JBL at Mania, I thought.
He has fought JBL at Mania.
I think that's the one.
That's 21.
I want to go to 21 then. Because I just love that feud altogether. And I thought JBL's character during the time was also a really great heel.
JBL's character at that time, it was just one of those things that, like, for whatever reason at the time, people didn't care for, but it has aged very well.
I almost feel like it was before he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I mean, it was too early.
I felt like JBL really, if he would have got his JBL character a lot sooner, oh my goodness, the things we could have saw.
100% agreed. This is a good question. This comes from our buddy Jamie David. Since we just saw a redesign of the IWGP title, in your guys' opinion, what title would you look to redesign, and what would your design look or details? What would your design look like, or what details would it have? I'd redesign the IWGP belt. That's a great question.
So I don't really care as much for, like, I don't really follow New Japan as much as I do other companies. I think for me, it would probably be one of the tag belts on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think, one, I would unify them. I don't think there needs to be, the tag division's already weak as it is because they don't book them right. I would unify them so you have more to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I would change them up. They're just kind of plain.
So I like the old copper tag belts that they had whenever they were like, it was the pre-blue and red strap belts. Right. It was black strap, copper looking plates. Those were like the penny tags is what they called them. Those were cool looking in my opinion. Still kind of bland at the time, but now they're really bland. I'm going to kind of go on along the same lines as you. I would unify the WWE title and the Universal title, and I would bring back something similar to the old Winged Eagle belt, but like bigger. Not exact to what it was, but very similar, and just make it bigger. Like make the main plate just as big as the current belts. Similar shape, similar design, not exact. So that's one. I would get rid of the current Intercontinental belt. I hate that design. It's just bland. I know some people like it. It's okay if, people buy it and then they do like paint modifications to it, but I just think they need to bring back the old classic style from the 90s. Don't even have to make it any bigger, just exact same style, same size. They pretty much did it whenever Cody had it. They put it on a white strap. Put it on whatever color strap you want, but I just like that design. So
I'm a fan of the white strap.
I like the white strap too.
Someone brought up the AEW Women's Championship because it's so small, and I kind of am inclined to agree.
I like the design of it, but I'd be okay with it being a little bigger. It is kind of small in size. Well,
because it's so small.
Well, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to have their belts be at least their world title and their women's title. They're trying to do a throwback inspiration. So the AEW world title is kind of a throwback in a sense to the old Mid-South North American title. And the AEW women's is kind of a throwback to the old, like the Southern style belts that were smaller. You can go back and look at the, like the Florida Southern Championship, the Florida Heavyweight Champion that had 7 plates on it. The old school NWA Mid-Atlantic United States belt. There's plenty of examples of it, but that's what they were trying to do. I can appreciate, but I agree it is a little small even for a women's belt. Excuse me. Let's see. Masacholi asked 4 different questions. I'm gonna pick just 1 or 2 of them. Well, this would be most simple. Marvel or DC?
Oh man,
I'm not really a comic superhero. I watch the movies, but I don't follow the sequence of the movies from start to finish. Like if I watch one, I'll just kind of watch it out of context in a way. It'll still be a good movie, but I don't even know what the very first one was. I think Iron Man was towards the beginning if you follow all of the, but for me, not really. I don't want to say neither. I'm just kind of just kind of indifferent, I guess is the right word.
My answer depends though. So I'm definitely Marvel from the standpoint of the cinematic universe. They've obviously just put out way more content and better content. As far as like who has better heroes and comic books and stuff, I'm a little back and forth. I would probably lean more DC, especially in the cartoon realm. Like growing up watching cartoons, I was definitely more DC. But I kind of go back and forth. I don't like a lot of the newer DC stuff they put out. I think it's been okay at best. But I literally collect the Marvel movies. I have Disney Plus straight up for the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, and have loved all the Marvel stuff they've put out on there. So right now I would probably lean more Marvel just because they have way more content that I think is better.
All right. Masacholi also asks, what's one of the moments in wrestling that no matter how many times you see it, it always makes you laugh or cheer? The segment with Ric Flair and Jay Lethal. It never gets old. Woo! The woo off and just, and that's just, they're flying off the cuff. They kind of had an idea of what they, bits they wanted to say, but it wasn't like they had to memorize a script. They just did their thing and it was hilarious. So that's one of them.
Shawn Michaels super kicking Stan.
I just kicked Stan. You remember who Stan was?
Shawn Spears.
Shawn Spears.
I also, The Rock and Stone Cold singing in the ring together.
I got one. The Rock singing to Vicky Guerrero. You remember that one?
Yeah. I like any of John Cena's rap battles. All those were the one with Kurt Angle. It probably is,
yeah.
When Kurt Angle rapped back, that was.
Do you remember whenever Kurt Angle did his sexy boy parody of Shawn Michaels' theme, but he was like, oh, I don't remember. Like this literally just popped in my head. I haven't seen it for years. That's one I got to go back and watch.
All the Charlie Haas
Oh yeah,
parodies were great. You could say a lot of R-Truth stuff too.
yeah.
The little Jimmy stuff was funny.
His promo with Heyman and Lesnar about the Royal Rumble
Yeah.
thing, that was classic. Sexy Kurt, that's what it was. I'll make your ankle hurt. Good stuff.
Yeah.
We'll take a couple more questions from the live chat, if there are any. Let's see if there's one here. Mark asks, what do you think about this year's Hall of Fame class? Glad that Eric Bischoff's getting his due. The more I learn about Molly Holly, the more I'm just like, she really deserves this. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have gotten to Beth Phoenix. So that's pretty cool.
Kane, well deserved.
For sure.
I was actually okay with the Great Khali.
I was not.
I understand people's frustration with it, but at the same time, he is India's probably biggest star as far as the wrestling industry goes, and with them wanting to get into India and target that audience more, it made sense. There are obviously other names that I think deserve to go in before him. I'm not saying that he deserved it more than others. I'm just saying it doesn't really bother me. It's really kind of a joke anyways, the Hall of Fame. I mean, it really holds
That's true.
significant value, but
And there's not even a physical Hall of Fame, so it's like,
I know they're talking about making one. And when that comes to play, I think it would mean more to people that they're going to be recognized in like a museum of sorts.
Yeah.
But that one didn't bother me as much. Who else was in it in the class? Because they're going to honor Batista at another time. I feel like I'm missing another
oh,
name.
Davey Boy Smith.
Davey Boy Smith. That's a good one. NWO, right?
Yeah, technically that's 2020, but I mean, they're getting their induction this year.
Yeah.
William Shatner.
I hope if and when they build a physical Hall of Fame, they get rid of the celebrity wing. I kind of am over the whole inducting celebrities in.
And I stand corrected. I guess Davey Boy Smith is technically 2020, but RVD.
I do like RVD. I think RVD is in that conversation in wrestling in general, but he definitely played huge parts of WWE's success throughout the years. And
Well, okay, let's just run through these real quick. So, for 2020, JBL is on here.
yep,
They
they already call him a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
But yeah, he deserves it.
totally okay with it. So, British Bulldog,
Yep.
Juice and Liger, 2020.
Yep.
Totally good with it. William Shatner, I guess, is 2020. The NWO as a group, I'm okay with it. Bella Twins, don't get it.
I do though, because they opened up a whole market with the reality TV series stuff. Like there's
I get it, but from a wrestling standpoint, it's like,
but WWE's not wrestling only. They're
Well, I get it,
entertainment. So
but-
their company banner, we have to remember, they're not like AEW, which AEW is starting to kind of play into this too, with their Cody Rhodes reality TV series and stuff that they're getting ready to do. But WWE's prides themselves on being entertainment. So it's like the Bella Twins have embodied that, and they took their wrestling careers after they were over, and they turned it into something that still boosts WWE's morale in so many ways. I mean, you get on Peacock, and the Bella show is one of the top shows on Peacock that you can watch that's associated with WWE, which means that people watch it, enjoy it, and then they opened up the market for Miz and Mrs. and all these other things. So I get it. Like I said, not that they deserve it more than somebody else, but it makes sense at least.
Fair enough. All right, here's the topic I've been most excited about. Putting together a WrestleMania fantasy card, if you will.
The rules were current rosters.
That was the only rule I followed, though. I went way over on my number of matches.
current rosters. You could use any titles. All titles were available to defend or utilize. And we had said we were going to try to keep it to 8 matches. I believe I have 8 with 2 pre-show, and I believe Alex said he has close to 13.
Let me see.
We both realized very quickly that there's no way we could leave certain names out. So,
even though I did. So I told Cole this prior to going on. Spoiler, Roman Reigns and Drew I'm sorry. I did revise it. They did make mine. Never mind. I initially told Cole before we went live that Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns didn't make my card. They actually did. I did revise it. So never mind. They did make the card. Okay. Let's have you go first.
We doing the whole card? Or we
whole card?
Oh my goodness!
Start to finish.
Okay.
Now we can discuss this. I didn't pick winners for mine.
I didn't either.
But I mean,
let's let the chat decide.
That'll work.
So as we go, you guys got to give us who you think would win this the matches that we throw out here.
We booked it. You pick the winners.
All right. So I'm gonna start pre-show and work my way down. So pre-show. And I don't know if I would put these matches in order. I didn't really.
My matches are in sequential order that I would have put them on the card.
I see. I didn't do that.
If you didn't do that, that's fine. I'm just.
So, pre-show, I have R-Truth versus Orange Cassidy.
Oh!
Versus Jay Lethal's Black Machismo. Triple threat for the 24/7 championship.
Well done.
Orange Cassidy, R-Truth, Jay Lethal's Black Machismo character.
Pick your winner, but I would pick Black Machismo.
I think I would lean actually Orange Cassidy in this. With R-Truth obviously pinning him after the bell rings to become the 900-time 24/7 champion.
24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South, European television champion.
So that is the first match. Now,
I love it.
the second match, a little bit more serious of a pre-show match. I called this the Tag Team Turmoil Ladder Match. All right. Now, the stipulation in this match is that only one person from each team is represented in this match.
Okay.
Not both teams.
Okay.
The stipulation was winner could pick whatever tag championships they wanted to challenge for out of Mania. It was a number 1 contender match, kind of like a Money in the Bank. They could challenge whoever they wanted.
I want to say real quick, Cole and I did not discuss our match card.
No, I have no idea what this dude has on his, but I'm excited. So, Tag Team Turmoil Ladder Match, one from each team represented. I have Jurassic Express with Jungle Boy, Pentagon from Lucha Bros, Kofi Kingston from New Day, Dolph Ziggler with the Dirty Dogs, Ivar from the Viking Raiders, Cash Wheeler from FTR,
FTR made your card. How about that?
Santana from Proud and Powerful, John Morrison from Miz and Morrison, Rey Mysterio from the Mysterios, and Jey Uso.
Okay.
So that's a lot of names there. I'll give you guys a chance to answer those.
Oh man,
It's a ladder match. There's a lot of guys in that match. I get it, but man, the spots, the things that are going on in this match.
I would pick Lucha Bros to win that.
I would have a hard time picking, and I made the match. I would be inclined to go with Pentagon as well. So that was my pre-show. So off jump, you have a great pre-show. Starting off what I wrote down that came to my mind. First match that I have down is a 6-man TLC match for the AEW Championship. 6-man.
It's like a 6-pack challenge.
Kind of.
Okay.
TLC style. It is Kenny Omega versus Ricochet versus Tommy End, a.k.a. Aleister Black, versus Adam Cole versus Keith Lee versus Pac. AEW Championship on the line.
Run down those 6 again real quick.
Kenny Omega.
You had Kenny, you had Ricochet.
Tommy End, Adam Cole, Keith Lee, and Pac.
I'm going Adam Cole.
Adam
Baby.
Cole. Obviously, due to my favoritism to this person, I'm going Ricochet.
Okay.
But I could see why. And someone said Omega retains. I see a Pac. I see Adam Cole. So that was, I guess, if I'm going down how I'm reading it, that would start the card off.
That's a heck of an opener.
All right, second card or second match on the card. I have a Fatal 4 5-man elimination tag match for brand supremacy.
My eyes are crossed.
It's a Fatal 4, so 4 brands,
Yeah.
5 people on each team. Elimination style, Survivor style tag team match.
So 20 guys in this match.
Yes.
Okay.
All across the ring. I mean, they're basically going to be touching each other at this point.
Yeah.
AEW's representations are Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Adam Page, and Jon Moxley.
Okay.
Impact, Rich Swann, Motor City Machine Guns, James Storm, Eddie Edwards.
Ooh.
New Japan, Okada, Naito, Ibushi, Tanahashi, and Jay White.
Okay.
And WWE, Kevin Owens, the Street Profits, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor.
I'm going New Japan on this one.
I'd stack New Japan's team pretty hard. I know I made the card. I'm actually gonna go with AEW.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I would pick AEW to win that match. I'm trying to get people. That's a lot. I'm gonna one more time. AEW is Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks, Adam Page, Jon Moxley. Impact was Rich Swann, Motor City Machine Guns, James Storm, and Eddie Edwards. New Japan, Okada, Naito, Ibushi, Tanahashi, and Jay White. WWE was Kevin Owens, Street Profits, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Okay, wow. Lot of all over the place answers on this one. But I like the answers. All right, third match on the card. This is a women's face of the planet 20 woman
Face of the planet.
20 woman battle royale. This is to decide who the number 1 women's wrestler is on the planet.
Face of the planet.
Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Asuka, Tessa Blanchard, Alexa Bliss, Io Shirai, Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Britt Baker, Sheeta, Thunder Rosa, Ember Moon, Carmella, Mia Yim, Toni Storm, Kaylee Ray, and Naomi.
What's your payroll like for this event?
We didn't set a payroll, buddy.
Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna do a swerve on this. I'm gonna go Britt Baker.
Yeah, I think people would have thought my answer would be different on this, but I'm actually gonna go on the opposite side of that and go Thunder Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I would pick Thunder Rosa to win this match.
Nice.
As well. So I got a Britt, a couple Beckys, a Charlotte. I'm liking this so far. A lot of people are really struggling to pick a solidified winner.
I mean, and that was the point. So
all right, I think you're gonna love this. I really think you're gonna
go
love
for
this.
it.
One last time gauntlet match. One last time gauntlet match. Edge versus Christian Cage versus John Cena versus Chris Jericho versus Sting versus Randy Orton. Gauntlet match.
Depends on the order. Who comes out first?
How I just read it.
So you had Edge, Christian,
John Cena,
so Edge, Christian, Cena,
Jericho,
Sting,
Orton.
and Orton.
You could almost call it a Legends Killers gauntlet match. Actually, I'll put Orton at the beginning. We'll take it up a notch. Orton starts the match. It's a Legends Killer gauntlet match. He has to run the gauntlet.
I'm going to say, because this is his absolute definitively last match, I'm going to say Sting.
I like it. I actually would go with Christian Cage.
Interesting.
He would
Okay.
be my sleeper pick. RKO wins. Cena, Orton legend, Christian, sorry, I'm biased. Sting, wow, man.
Good stuff.
I'm liking it. All right. I had to throw one of these kind of matches in there. The greatest submission match ever.
Oh, jeez.
It's a submissions only match. Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan versus Kyle O'Reilly versus AJ Styles. Submissions only.
So not only like the only wrestling holds you can perform are submissions.
No, I mean like the only way to win is
by submission. Okay, I was just clarifying.
Right.
I am going to. That hasn't happened in a while.
A lot of excitement on the feed.
I'm gonna go Samoa Joe.
I got one Joe answer.
You're gonna go Kyle O'Reilly, aren't
Yep,
you? I knew it.
I'm gonna go Kyle O'Reilly. I want to say Joe. I do.
I wanted to say Kyle O'Reilly,
But I'm going with Kyle O'Reilly. But this match would be absolutely insane to watch.
yeah, would and they're all in the same. Orton, Joe.
Orton's
Or not Orton.
Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah,
AJ
they all work for the same company, so it could. I mean, they could make it happen.
This match, it came to me on a whim, and I was like, let's do it.
Cool.
All right, so I promised you would like how I used these two guys.
Okay.
This right here is a WWE Universal title / WWE Championship unification match,
Okay.
but it's a grudge match. It's a no DQ. Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. No DQ.
I'm going Lesnar.
Okay. I like the Lesnar answer. I am actually going to go with Roman Reigns.
Okay.
I think he would find a way.
Okay.
I have two left.
Okay.
Trying to let the chat feed catch up just a little bit. All right, two left. My seventh match on the card. This is called the Golden Eye 6-Pack Challenge.
The Golden Eye 6-Pack Challenge.
Here's why.
Okay.
The TNT title's on the line. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. The U.S. title is on the line. All the gold, mid-card gold, on the line.
Okay. I like it.
Matt, Big E, obviously, because they're the champions in the match.
Yeah.
With Brian Cage, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Winner is all three of those championships.
I will go Cesaro.
I am actually going to go Brian Cage.
I'm still sticking with Cesaro, but Brian Cage would definitely be my second pick.
All right, letting people catch up. Someone said Bobby. Someone said Drew. Okay, we're getting caught up. Someone says Brian Cage. Okay. All right, the last match on my card, and it's the only reason why I put it last was because of the setup it would take to do this match.
Right.
It is in an Elimination Chamber Extreme Rules match. What I'm thinking is that in the chamber, all the weapons are hanging from the ceiling, kind of like how the 6 Sides of Steel were kind of in Impact.
Well, and kind of like the cage match with Gargano and Cole.
Yeah, all the weapons are hanging from the ceiling. You'd have to climb up there to get them. But it's an Elimination Chamber Extreme Rules match. The Fiend versus Karrion Kross.
Okay.
Versus Tommaso Ciampa. Versus Lance Archer. Versus Walter. Versus Miro.
I'm going to go... So you've got Fiend, Karrion Kross, Ciampa, Walter,
Miro
and
Archer.
Archer. I'm going to go... Maybe a sleeper pick. I don't know, but I'm going to go Ciampa on this one.
I am going to go... This one's hard. Karrion Kross.
That would have been my second pick, but I'm going to go Ciampa on that one.
A lot of Fiends. I see a Walter. I see an Archer. I didn't know if I'd see an Archer.
I didn't think I would either. Okay. Here we go. Here's my card. So first off, right off the cuff, my WrestleMania is hosted by MJF.
I like it. I like it.
I have one pre-show match. So this match would basically, technically I didn't put company specific, like I didn't use WWE or AEW or whatever. I just used title names. So my pre-show is a women's tag team title gauntlet match.
Oh, okay.
And these are the order in which they would come out. So we've got, to start the match, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
Okay.
Coming out third would be Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Okay.
Coming out next, Red Velvet and Big Swole.
Interesting.
Then Ty Conti and Anna Jay. Then Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Then the Kabuki Warriors. And then I would have an unannounced mystery team, which would be revealed to be the Iconics, making their return as a team.
Oh, you would do that to me. I had a winner picked, and then you bring the Iconics back into it, and it's just like I would pick the Iconics because they would be last. It would be a mystery, and everyone else would be tired from the gauntlet. They would find a way to win.
That was my pick as well. So if you guys need a recap, women's tag team title gauntlet match, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Those teams would start out the match. Then Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Then Red Velvet and Big Swole. Ty Conti and Anna Jay. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Kabuki Warriors. And the Iconics. Mine would come down to Kabuki Warriors and Iconics, with Iconics getting the win. So, we have a Kabuki Warriors. We have an Iconics. We have a Jackson Baszler. Okay. So my next match is just, excuse me, just a standard Intercontinental title match. Fatal 4-way with Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Big E, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. Say it one more time.
Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Big E, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Kevin Owens.
That was my pick also. Or that would be my pick. So, yeah, I'd give the nod to Kevin Owens. So, again, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Big E, Shinsuke Nakamura. Let us know who you'd pick. We have a KO.
A lot of KOs.
A lot of KOs. All right. So, my next match is the most elite match ever
why did I know this was coming?
for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So,
Okay.
this is the one I did use a brand or a company. We have Kota Ibushi, who was, the keyword here is elite. So Kota Ibushi was a member of the elite.
Okay.
Briefly. So Kota Ibushi defending against Cody. And, this is a fatal 4-way as well. Kota Ibushi versus Cody versus Adam Page versus Marty Scurll.
Oh. And it's for the title.
For the title.
And it was Page.
Cody, Adam Page, Marty Scurll, Kota Ibushi.
Cody.
I am actually going to go. So this is Marty Scurll's return to the ring, by the way. I forgot to this is his epic return announced. He was not like a mystery guy. I'm going to put the bell on Marty in this case. So we have a couple Codys, we have an Adam Page, 2 Adam Pages, and a Marty. So, okay.
It's getting interesting.
Match number, if you count the pre-show match, excuse me, match number 4. So to put this in perspective, this is the first ever Money in the Bank Tag Team Ladder Elimination Chamber match, with the Elimination Chamber ceiling being raised to 20 feet. So you're not going to be able to touch the top. but you can still do spots, if you will, and not worry about hitting.
So there's 6 teams in this?
8.
8 teams.
So
it's elimination chamber, so they're in pods.
They're in pods. You got 6 pods, 2 teams starting out.
And then after you can't climb the ladder until all teams are in?
Correct.
And wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Money in the Bank tag team elimination chamber ladder match. Cannot try to retrieve. So there will be 2 briefcases as well. Both teams have to come down with both briefcases. Like you have to have one guy grab a briefcase, the other guy's got to grab the other.
Okay.
Young Bucks against Lucha Bros, against Good Brothers, against FTR, against DIY, against MSK, against Birch and Lorcan, against Street Profits.
Why are you doing this to me? Who starts the match?
In that order. So Young Bucks and Lucha Bros start off the match.
Oh, you would.
And then Good Brothers come in next, then FTR, then DIY, then MSK, then Birch and Lorcan, then Street Profits come in last.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
Oh, that's so hard. I don't have an answer.
No, David, that is not an option. Jurassic Express, we're booking this. Jurassic Express does not take a team out and replace them. Jurassic Express are later in my card. Take a chill pill. Oh, actually, spoiler, Marco Stunt is not on my card.
Oh.
So
I'm going to explain why. I'm going to go Street Profits.
Okay.
Because Montez Ford is going to climb the ladder first, get his briefcase. They're all going to be standing there. He's going to dive from the ladder on top of all of them with the briefcase, and it's going to leave room for Angelo Dawkins to climb the ladder and get his other briefcase.
Okay. I'm going with a sleeper pick. DIY gets the win here.
I like it.
Okay, so my next match, Fatal 4-Way Women's Title Match. So again, I'm except for the New Japan IWGP belt, I don't use company specific
Gotcha. Okay.
names or company specific belts. Fatal 4-Way Women's Title Match. Britt Baker, Charlotte Flair, Tessa Blanchard, Thunder Rosa.
Britt Baker, Charlotte Flair,
Tessa Blanchard, Thunder Rosa. AEW versus WWE versus NWA versus free agent, I guess, technically.
I gotta go Charlotte.
What's funny about this, so on your women's match, I picked Britt Baker, you picked Thunder Rosa. They're both in this match, and neither of them are getting neither of them will be getting our picks for this match because you picked Charlotte. I'm going Tessa Blanchard.
The reason why, though, is in my match, it was a battle royale. It's just throwing someone over the top rope.
No, I get it.
We're talking about getting a pin.
Yeah.
And I don't see Britt Baker. I don't even know if I could put Britt Baker in the same level as the other 3 as far as in-ring ability.
Well, I see what you're saying, but I think she proved quite a bit on that match with Thunder Rosa a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's weapons involved. This is a standard match.
That's fair. I'm going
to
Tessa.
Standard wrestling. I don't know if I can put her in the same level. So I was really struggling between Tessa and Charlotte, and I think I got to go Charlotte.
Okay. I'm going Tessa Blanchard. Match number 6 is the Andre the Giant. I'm sorry. This is the, and pun intended here, this is the largest Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal match with 24/7 title rules. So the winner of the match will be the last one standing in the ring from a battle royal standpoint, but throughout the entire match, 24/7 title rules. So whoever's 24/7 champion at the time can get pinned and lose the belt, but it has to be in the ring.
Oh.
So we've got Matt Hardy, Brian Cage, Darby Allin, Ethan Page, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Orange Cassidy, Miro, Sammy Guevara, Sean Spears, Wardlow, Mustafa Ali, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Aleister Black, Big E. I had Big E on this card twice. I didn't mean to do that. Pulling double duty, I guess. I think I meant it. I think I meant to replace Big E with somebody, and I forgot who. Let me think about that for a second. Dolph Ziggler, Aleister Black, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Cesaro, Damian Priest, Jeff Hardy, R-Truth. Big E was supposed to be replaced with somebody. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'll think of it. Baron Corbin. So I'll rehash that. The largest Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with 24/7 title rules. So again, the winner of the Battle Royal will be the last one standing after everyone else is thrown out over the top. So standard Battle Royal rules as far as that goes. But at any given point, the 24/7 champion can be pinned. So R-Truth comes into the match as champion. Matt Hardy, Brian Cage, Darby Allin, Ethan Page, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Orange Cassidy, Miro, Sammy Guevara, Shawn Spears, Wardlow, Ali, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Aleister Black, Baron Corbin, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Cesaro, Damian Priest, Jeff Hardy, R-Truth. So who walks out as 24/7 champion and who wins the Battle Royal?
R-Truth.
For both?
Yes, and here's why.
Okay. If R-Truth wins the Battle Royal, if he walks out as 24/7 champion, how many times does he lose it during the match? Or how many times does it change during the match?
I'll explain. So throughout the match, R-Truth never gets eliminated because if he does, they can't win the 24/7 title.
I thought that too.
So he stays in the match and he keeps getting pinned and then pinning that person back, and then they get eliminated. So R-Truth gets, I'm going to say 15 times the title changes in the match.
Oh, man.
And he just doesn't get eliminated. And then at the very end, the person who's 24/7 champion actually eliminates the last person, thinking R-Truth's not in the match. He pins them, wins the belt, and then they're in such shock afterwards, he grabs them and throws them over the top rope. R-Truth, winner of the Battle Royal, and walks out as the 900-time 24/7 champion.
I like it. I do like the booking because I thought the same thing. Like they keep him in the match because he'll get pinned or rolled up or whatever, schoolboyed, whatever you want to call it. But then he'll get it back throughout the match. But I don't see him walking out with it. I see it coming down to R-Truth and one other person. Same person will pin R-Truth, then eliminate him to walk out as 24/7 champion. And that person is John Silver. Johnny Hungy.
I like it.
My next match, a 6-pack challenge for the UK Championship.
Oh, Lord.
We've got Walter versus Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay versus Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee versus Ricochet.
Oh, you just had to do it, didn't you?
Maybe match of the night.
Say the names one more time.
Walter, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and Ricochet.
6-pack challenge, so they just have to pin one person.
Yes. Not elimination rules, just one pinfall gets the win. Anybody can be pinned.
Give me King Ricochet.
I'm going Will Ospreay. Who do you guys got? We have a Walter. We have a Keith Lee. Another Keith Lee. A lot of Keith Lee fans.
I love Keith. He was my second pick, but if he only has to pin one, Ricochet's going to find a way.
We have a Walter. There are 2 Walters. Okay. Concluding the night, we have a grand championship tournament. An 8-man grand championship tournament. So, again, I didn't pick winners, so we're just going to kind of do this off the cuff. So, the first match is Adam Cole against AJ Styles.
You would do this to me every single time. Oh my goodness.
I'm going Adam Cole.
I'm even wearing his shirt today. Adam Cole. I was wearing an AJ Styles shirt today, but this was AJ Styles like 4 or 5 years ago. I would have went AJ, but I'm gonna go Adam Cole.
Okay. Let's see. We have a couple AJs and an Adam Cole here. So you guys that are picking AJ, you're gonna have to change up your predictions because Adam Cole wins, and then he's gonna face the winner of the next match in the next round. The second match is advertised as Randy Orton, but he gets attacked by a mystery assailant, and the mystery assailant will be taking his spot in the match. It is Roman Reigns against the revealed assailant as Edge. And I'm giving the edge to Edge.
Yeah, I was gonna say Edge.
So in the second round, it'll be Adam Cole against Edge. We'll get to that in a second. I want to do all the first round matches first. So Adam Cole against Edge in the second round. Back to the first round. Next match, we've got Brock Lesnar against Drew McIntyre.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm going Brock also. I like how nobody picked Roman Reigns, at least on what I'm seeing on my end.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we both went Lesnar. David Tilley went for Drew. Okay, and so that means Brock Lesnar. Man, nobody's picking Brock. Everyone wants Drew. Sorry, guys, it's going to be Brock. Cole and I are booking this. Brock Lesnar will face the winner of the next match, Christian against Kenny Omega.
Why? I know your answer.
Yeah,
and
Kenny's my answer.
I would have went Christian, but
okay,
you got to go with Kenny because you booked it. So
yep.
It'd be a really great match though.
So the second round we've got Adam Cole against Edge, and I'm going Adam Cole.
I just don't understand. Okay. I mean, I get the booking. I probably would have went Edge, but Adam Cole obviously makes sense.
All right. Next match. Brock Lesnar against Kenny Omega.
If you, don't you do this I'm going Brock.
I'm going Brock also.
Okay, I'm just making sure because I know you like to get on the Kenny train sometimes.
No, I'm going Brock for this one. I mean, you could have. I thought, okay, so as we're talking, I thought about booking this one of two ways. Having Brock get the win. You know what? I'm going a different route. I was going to have Brock against Adam Cole in the finals, but we're going to have a draw, which means because I'm booking this, I can say what I want to happen. So rather than just have Adam Cole win the tournament, we're going to have a triple threat match in the finals. Adam Cole against Brock Lesnar against Kenny Omega. Kind of feel like Don Callis here, just changing up the rules as we go because I can.
I'm going to pick Alex Cole. I always do that. Adam Cole to win the tournament. He'll beat Kenny.
Adam Cole gets the win for me also, but I say he gets the pin over Lesnar. I didn't say it was a clean pin. I didn't say it was clean.
That would be one of those nights where I would throw my remote at my TV.
Really? Not if I booked it right.
Maybe.
Lesnar's taken pinfalls before.
I have to see it.
Did you throw your remote against the TV when Rollins pinned him at SummerSlam?
I thought it was a terrible match.
I didn't say it wasn't terrible, but
I thought the way what Seth Rollins won was terrible.
I don't disagree, but nonetheless. So Adam Cole is your new grand champion, and my WrestleMania card goes off the air with MJF presenting the grand championship to Adam Cole. MJF tries to get a cheap shot on him. Doesn't work. Adam Cole performs a Panama Sunrise / Canadian Destroyer. and then a last shot holding the title up. We go off the air, which would set up an Adam Cole and MJF feud for the Grand Championship moving forward. Ta-da!
That was a hard card.
So was yours.
That was. See, this is why WrestleMania needs to be like a cross promotional
Agreed.
thing. Like once a year, like all the brands come together and we just figure it out. Because those would be insane matches.
Agreed. David, I'm sorry, I'm just going to put you on the spot. The housing stuff is getting kind of old. Whoever suggested this, though, thank you. This was a lot of fun. I liked putting this together. Even more so going through it with you guys. And
who brought this up?
I don't remember, but whoever it was, thank you. That was a lot of fun. Not easy, but a lot of fun. So, let's take a brief gander at tonight's wrestling action, if you will, and then we'll conclude today's programming, if you will. Let's see. So this week's NXT card is actually the go-home show before next week's TakeOver Stand and Deliver.
Right.
Because it's Wednesday and Thursday. Isn't that right? It's Wednesday and Thursday. So we've got how do you pronounce their tag team name? Tian Shaw.
Who's that?
Xia Li's tag team. Or her little faction or whatever. Isn't it?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Hang on. Mei Ying. Mei Ying.
Mei Ying.
And Xia Li against Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter.
Mei Ying's fighting tonight?
That's what it says here. Makes her in-ring debut.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I'm excited for that.
We have a battle royal to determine the lineup. A battle royal to determine the lineup for the NXT North American Championship Gauntlet Eliminator match.
That'll be good.
Roderick Strong against Cameron Grimes. And does that mean they're performing double duty? Because they're in the North American Gauntlet Eliminator match. Or the Battle Royal, I should say.
I wonder if those two are fighting for the last slot or something.
It doesn't say. It says they're both in the Battle Royal.
And then it says again that they're also fighting.
It actually says here they're performing double duty. Huh. Okay. If I'm missing something, that's all that I'm noticing that's been announced so far for tonight's NXT.
There's also going to be a lot of promos and build-ups and finalizations and things like that.
They'll probably throw another match or maybe two on the card. But switching over to AEW, we've got Christian Cage's in-ring debut against Frankie Kazarian. Did you know this is his first one-on-one match in 7 years?
Christian Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that long. We've got the Arcade Anarchy match. Miro and Kip Sabian against Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. We got the Cody against QT match. I'm actually kind of intrigued by that from a storyline perspective, how they're going to go from there. We have MJF giving a gift to Pinnacle. And then we've got Omega and the Good Brothers against the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid. I shouldn't have a lot of high hopes for that match. I do hope they don't disappoint. So that is tonight's wrestling action, if you will. But unfortunately, it's getting about that time. Any final thoughts for our viewers?
Guys, as always, thanks for watching the greatest wrestling podcast ever. We sincerely appreciate you joining us, giving us your thoughts on our WrestleMania cards, and joining in with all of the great conversation that we had today. Do not forget to go get your Going Broadway podcast, Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, Parody t-shirts and hoodies. They are comfortable. They are great. They look great. They feel great. You want one. You need one. You got to have one. So make sure you go get that as well. Join us next week as we have a lot of predictions to make.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I'd say half of our show might be going through the Stand and Deliver card, the WrestleMania card.
We have a lot.
A lot of predictions for sure.
So I will leave you guys until then with your favorite thing.
Thanks for joining us today, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
And so, goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bye.
This podcast was a presentation of LightUpMedia.fm.